Hey guys, this is Courtney from Cosmic Clarity Astrology, and today I'm super excited to talk to you about the Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th, 2025. So if you saw the screen, I just changed it to this full moon. This actually is playing off of the Scorpio new moon, which was a chart that I just had up that happened on May 1st of 2024. So what I feel like is happening for this full moon is some type of momentum, movement, breakthrough, change, stimulation, exhilaration that we were wanting to accomplish, or that we were, thinking about, or there were events going on at that early November 2024 time. But during that new moon, we had Mars opposite Pluto, and it was exact. So you can see that kind of creates this head-butting energy where the ruler of the moon is being met with this opposing force that can kind of try to push you back into your place and say, no, don't do that, I don't agree with you, or can create internal stress or external stressors that make you have certain challenges that slow you down. So this full moon in Scorpio is playing off of that new moon. Similar topics, themes, ideas are coming up now. And this time, the sun is with Uranus. So we're having a totally different energy. We have Mars direct. Mars is no longer opposing Pluto. So we're not having as much resistance. And then on top of that, we have Uranus again on the sun or opposite the moon. So not only do we not have this kind of bully pushing us back into place, but with Uranus, we have the opportunity for a breakthrough. Uranus is a great awakener. It's the planet that offers us the opportunity for change and advancement and progression to happen in our lives. And so I think a lot of us are going to notice that things really start to flow again. If they were feeling a little bit thwarted, or we were anxious, or we stopped moving forward with something, this Uranus energy can come in and create enough variety, change, opportunity, new insights to get things moving again. I think that many of us are going to be asked right now to step out a little bit of our comfort zone, because Uranus is a planet that asks us to do that. It wants us to create change and progress. And in order to do that, we have to leave behind what we know. We have to leave behind the familiar and the comfortable. And so Uranus asks us to think about, what am I really passionate about? What do I really light up about in my life? What would make me feel free or most authentic to who I am? And with this being a Scorpio full moon and Mars being in Leo, the planet that rules this moon, it is a lot about our emotions, our heart, our creativity, what makes us feel alive and expressed. So if there is something that you really, really desire to express yourself with, this full moon with Uranus is a great opportunity for us to go and seek that. It's not the time to be cautious. It's not the time to censor ourselves, to hold back, to try to plan things really deeply. We can make a plan, of course, but I feel like it's not so much about having all of the ducks in a row as it is about taking that leap of faith, or speaking things how you want to speak them, like speaking your mind. And the reason I say that is because Mercury is in this exact square with Pluto. So even though Mars isn't, Mercury is. So what that means is that while we're not meeting resistance in terms of that bully kind of pushing us down, we do have a little bit of mental or technical resistance. And that is coming from Mercury being in this square to Pluto. So Mercury is a planet of decision making. It's a planet of our mindset. It's a really important planet when it comes to our conversations and expressing ourselves, as well as logistics and having all the details and strategy planned out for something. So those are the areas that are under stress. So what could this mean? This could mean that you make a decision, but you're kind of going back and forth around if that's the right way or the logistics of it, and you're stressed about how to accomplish that. Maybe you have to have an important conversation because the decisions that you're making now, or the things going on in your life now, are going to affect other people in your life, like your family or your sense of security. And so you need to have important discussions about that. And that could be met with resistance. Mercury square Pluto can create quite a bit of abrasiveness. When it comes to conversations, people could be pushing their agendas, pushing their thoughts or the way they think things should be. We could be paranoid. We could be suspicious of other people. We might be really stubborn and try to influence or manipulate other people to think the way that we do. There could be certain confrontations in terms of the way that, ideas are communicated right now. Again, there can be some kind of lack of planning that comes into play. People could be very aggressive or blunt. There could be the energy of maybe scattering yourself all over the place or overthinking things, because Mercury and Pluto tend to overthink. So in general, the energy of this moon is about making changes, making waves, stirring the pot, getting things moving. And we might have to have difficult conversations, decisions, or plans, like strategizing plans, in order to do that. So if people are being kind of forceful or acting in a little bit erratic type of way, that is something kind of expected at this full moon. Another piece of advice is to not hold on to expectations at this full moon. Allow yourself to embrace the flow of life and the twists and turns, just like you would kind of going down the river. I think it's important to accept the things that are happening now, because life wants to pick up and move quite quickly. And if we try to hold on or resist the things that are happening outside of our control, I definitely think it's going to create some internal pressure and the potential for things to ultimately harm us in some type of way. So really just allowing ourselves to flow with life, to embrace that people may act erratically, to embrace our own personal desires, our own desires for freedom, our own passion, our own interests, to have the difficult conversations or make the difficult decisions or plans, even though that might be somewhat stressful, to not be cautious, to not be too censored or, too overly planned or worried about our plan, because I think that things won't really go to plan anyway, at least not to the fullest extent. I think that's going to be the most important thing at this time. We might also notice that, if we are scared that we don't have enough for ourselves, so Uranus being a planet of kind of freedom and independence, that could be a theme that comes up where we might worry that we don't have enough money, that we don't have enough personal time or space, that we don't have enough of something in order to get by, in order to accomplish something, in order to take care of ourselves or our loved ones. So that could also be a theme that comes up at this time. And if that's the case, I think it's important to just do your best to act from an abundant mindset and continue to be, generous with yourself and with others, and instead of trying to withhold or hold on to things really tightly. A Scorpio moon, especially opposite Uranus, is a lot around being willing to let something go and to embrace the process of change and evolution. And change and evolution inherently means that you leave one thing and you embrace something new. And in order to do that, you have to feel safe enough to stop holding on so tight. And so part of this Scorpio full moon is about the process of releasing and accepting the unexpected that can come with something new. So that is the overall message for the Scorpio full moon. I would definitely recommend checking out your what was going on for you back in November of 2024, if you have a diary or something, to see what was happening in your mind and see if any of those kind of themes are coming back up for you now, but are finally moving in a direction that is empowering for you or feels unstuck. So go ahead and check out my description box down below for all of the rising and sun signs. We're going to dive into that now, and I hope you guys enjoy this and have a great day. All right, up first we have Aries rising and sun. So for you guys, this Scorpio full moon is happening in your 8th house. It's opposite Uranus and the sun in your 2nd. And I really feel like the energy of this full moon has so much momentum for you guys because of this Uranus, because of this 8 of Wands. It just speaks to your hard work paying off and for things like finally kind of working out in your favor. I feel like many of you guys want to do something independently, or you're wanting to do something that will make you more money or that will bring you more confidence. or that feels like it's empowering you in some type of way to stand on your own or to be kind of strong with something or overcome something. And I feel like you guys are finally making progress with that with the Eight of Wands. You're seeing success. With the Five of Cups in reverse, I feel like it's kind of rewriting all of this past where you might have felt disappointed by certain things, or you might have felt unsure of yourself or have lacked confidence. Now that's going away. It's like suddenly this thing starts to work out for you or pick up for you, and then you start to feel really good in your own skin. So it's almost like the past didn't even happen to begin with. And the ruler of this moon, Mars, is in your 5th house in Leo. So this is a time where you guys are meant to shine, where you're meant to be kind of putting yourself out there more, where you're meant to be more visible. Maybe if you're, trying to date or meet somebody, this is a really good time to do that, and you'll find success with that. And you'll notice that you get a lot of people interested. It's just something in your life where you may have felt some type of physical block, like something was in your way, but as well as an emotional block. I see that really clearing up for you. And with Mars in the 5th, you growing a lot in confidence. And again, popularity of some sort. That's the vibe I'm getting. We have also Justice in the Nine of Cups. This really relates to somebody getting their just dues. The potential card speaks to that too. So there's something in your life that I feel like is good karma coming back for you, and you can see the potential in it. It might be something new. It might be something that you've been working on, that you've really been, again, looking at like the potential with it and feeling like, feeling like something in your life has potential, and you've been holding out for something to have some kind of outcome. But yeah, I see that actually happening, or at least the initial like step forward is happening with the Justice and the Nine of Cups. So something here is like finally giving way for you, and you're getting some kind of fair treatment. You're getting some kind of reciprocation. You're getting some kind of material or physical representation of the effort or the love or the intention that you put into something. And it's something that also, what you're getting out of this is something that has even more potential to keep growing if you keep your eyes on what you want in this situation. And we can see that a lot with Mars in the 5th, because it's a lot about cultivating the things that our heart really desires and feeling worthy of it. Lastly, we have Six of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and Devotion in reverse. So I think this is both reverse and upright, but the message here is that there may be certain things that you decide you are ready to let go of as a result of new energy flowing into your life or things progressing here. So a full moon in the 8th house can represent a lot of this kind of shedding process. I talked about this in the overview, where if we want to bring in something new, we have to often leave the old. That might be the case for you guys, especially when it involves the 8th house. There might be something that you recognize, oh, I can't really take that with me if I want to keep doing this. For some of you guys, it's possible that it is going to be related to a financial situation. So maybe you were making money from, like, let's say you have, or let's say you like even delete the dating apps, for example, or you have your side business and then your job, like maybe you decide to leave your job. There's something like that where you're going to go through the process of maybe kind of reevaluating, like, hey, should I be in this thing still, or is it time to step away from it? So I really think that a lot of you guys are going to get more recognition, success in something that you've been really working on for a long time, or that you've been really wanting. You're finally getting that moving, but in that process, you might need to let something go. With Mercury in the 2nd house squaring Pluto in the 11th, to me, that is like the sign of kind of needing to readjust your values, or where you're spending your money, or how you're making your money, or what you're prioritizing in your day-to-day life. This could also reflect the upgrade to your self-worth that you get as things start to progress, and you even forget all the disappointments of the past and just start to realize like how great you're doing now and how amazing things are now. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Aries. I'd be really curious if things are feeling that positive for you. If you are leaving something behind, I would love to hear from you if any of those are the case in the comments down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Taurus rising and sun. So this Scorpio full moon happening on the 12th is taking place in your 7th house. And it does kind of make me want to start off with the cards in the middle here, because this is a somewhat erratic full moon. It is in Scorpio in the 7th, and it's opposite Uranus and the sun in your 1st. This creates instability, in particular in relationships. And I definitely think people are going to be acting weird, or you could be acting weird, in the sense that you might want a little bit more space. You might be a little bit more defensive, especially with Mercury in your 1st squaring Pluto in the 10th. There may be people who don't get your vision, or who resist something that you are deciding, or who disagree with you on something, have a totally different perspective. I really see that with the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Cups in reverse. I'm really getting the sense of like feeling like you have to defend yourself, and that other people are not on the same page, that it's not harmonious, that people are kind of combative with you. And especially the Alliance in reverse, maybe people who you normally get along with, maybe there is some extra tension in that relationship. There's just something here where breakups might be possible, endings in relationships could be possible, having fights with coworkers or bosses, having to push up against something that someone else says, like for example, you get a speeding ticket and you have to kind of defend yourself, or you have your parents telling you something and you disagree with them. That's the kind of vibe of this, where other people are not going to necessarily think the way that you do. And so there might be some conflict that creates a little bit of tension or discord there. And you just gotta kind of roll with the punches, and just be aware if you're being overly aggressive. And you guys might need a little bit more alone time here in order to create some space to kind of cool off, or just fill your cup up. This full moon is ruled by Mars. Mars is in your 4th house. The 4th house has a lot to deal with our security. It has a lot to do with our sense of safety in a lot of ways. I do feel like there's something going on here with these cards here, that it's talking about your sense of security being challenged in some way. With the Wheel of Fortune upright, or in reverse, and 4 of Pentacles upright, this is a little bit about like scarcity, or things not turning out in your favor, that you're wanting some security, but there's some kind of avenue that you're trying to go down that doesn't have the resources that you're looking for. Especially with this Divine Wisdom card in reverse describing these 2 cards, this really speaks to like, oh, I think this is a synchronistic opportunity and this is such a good idea. And then you get into it and you realize, oh, that job actually didn't work out for me, or that wasn't the right relationship, or this wasn't the best decision, and I actually, this was too unpredictable. So there's something about this full moon with Mars in the 4th where you want security, because Mars wants that. It's motivated by that in the 4th house. But with Uranus involved and opposing this moon, that security isn't really there. So if you're having some kind of idea right now, or a plan, or you're doing something, or you're executing something that, again, is for having security, or doing something to protect yourself, or, if you have some kind of plan for long-term gain, I would just consider that your initial thoughts are not correct, or that you might read into something or be idealistic about something. Just expect the unexpected with Uranus. So I would kind of wait on like a really big decision when it comes to something that matches what I'm saying, something that you are going to invest in or put time and money into. Just hold off a little bit on that, or get outside perspective, because I feel like this is kind of a warning for you guys. We also have Mercury in the 1st squaring Pluto in the 10th. I already mentioned this. I think that this could have to deal with this, where there's some kind of plan that you don't really have all together, or you need to do more with that plan. You need to hash it out more. And I think you just need to consider that you don't have all the answers right now. These set of cards to me are talking about things finally picking up speed. So it's possible that this is talking about our current reality, and then this is talking about your past, where there could have been something in the past that you wrongly invested in and it didn't work out for you. Like maybe a relationship, for example, or something, or some kind of job, or whatever it is. And you put time and energy into that and it didn't really work out. So whatever this is, I think currently things are going to get unstuck no matter what that means. So even if this security idea doesn't pan out, or whatever that was, doesn't kind of come to fruition, or it does and then it, flops or whatever. Regardless of that, I see something in your life really picking up speed. This could be relationships. This could be ideas that you have, directions that you want to go in. This could be you getting out into the world more, or just something like that. But I think that whatever area of your life has felt really stagnant or kind of slow going, where you put a lot of effort and maybe haven't really seen a lot of movement, with the Miracles card and the Knight of Swords, I completely see that changing. I think you're going to be moving very, very fast now. I think that your previous way of doing something maybe wasn't working and now it will. Maybe there's going to be some kind of divine intervention, some kind of breakthrough, some kind of opportunity, but something's going to happen here to speed everything up in a really dramatic way. And that to me is what Uranus in the first house does, is it creates the necessary environment for change and momentum in our lives. So trust that logic, trust your I wouldn't say trust your ideas, but I don't know, maybe this is talking about the past here. I would be curious if you guys could comment down below, because, I can't always tell timelines in the cards. It's kind of all here now. So let me know in the comments down below how this resonates and for what timeline. And I hope that this is helpful for you. If so, please do give me a like and subscribe, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Gemini rising and sun. So this Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your 6th house. It's opposite the sun and Uranus in your 12th. So a little bit of tension, or I guess stimulation here with this changeable and volatile Uranus. It's helping you kind of get unstuck. For the first 3 sets of cards, we have Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands, Devil in reverse, and Death and Magic reverse. So this to me really feels like a very 12th house topic where Uranus is, which is about getting unstuck from your own inner demons, where you maybe have lacked confidence, or you have lacked optimism, or you maybe have had limiting beliefs or habits or things that were adding to a lot of stress into your life. Like you were somehow in a process of self-undoing. Maybe you were overthinking. Maybe you were holding yourself back in some way. Maybe you were fearful and you didn't emotionally put yourself out there because of relationship stuff. I don't know. It's going to be different for everybody, but there's something about this full moon with the opposite Uranus in the 12th that's going to help you get rid of these self-undoing habits or these limiting beliefs that have added a lot of stress to your life, to help you embody the Queen of Wands, somebody who's creative, who's inspired, who's confident, who feels sexy, and somebody in really strong in their own skin. With this Death and Magic, I feel like you have been resisting an end to a cycle that you are in. So this could be you struggling with a particular issue for a long time, like on and on and on and on, and just kind of carrying it with you. From one relationship to the next, from one job to the next. And I feel like you guys are finally getting out of that with this Uranus opposition, or maybe you're not completely leaving it behind, but you are having some kind of breakthrough along that path. If it's a lifetime journey of healing, maybe you have some kind of growth spurt in regards to that topic at this period of time. With Mars being in the 3rd house, Mars rules this full moon, and the 3rd house, wherever Mars is going to be influential to the themes of this full moon. The 3rd house is the house of communication, speaking, relationships, relating to one another. There might be something going on here with that, especially because Mercury, your planetary ruler, is squaring Pluto. Mercury in the 12th squaring Pluto in the 9th. You guys might feel like you guys might have certain ideas or mindsets or beliefs around your ability to relate to people, to connect with people, around an existing relationship, or a topic that keeps, like a pattern or an issue that keeps circulating in one relationship. I feel like there's just some kind of issue going on where with the 5 of Pentacles, you might feel left out in the cold. You might feel like you're alone or misunderstood. Maybe you try to reach out and no one answers, or maybe you keep having a issue in your marriage and you bring it up and the other person doesn't really get it. I mean, it could be so many things. You could speak up at work and you feel like, oh, I don't get recognition for certain things, or nobody hears me out. Especially work, because this is a full moon in the 6th house of work and health and routine. So or just teamwork. So whatever this is, I feel like there's something here where you have like lacked a sense of inner stability and confidence around your ability to really understand people and get along with people and have them understand you and get along with you. There's been some kind of hiccup here where maybe you felt less social than usual, or again, maybe there's an existing issue with one person. It's going to vary, but that relational issue here, this full moon is going to bring it up so you can again kind of override and transform the beliefs that you have and work on those beliefs that you have that are affecting your ability to connect or to feel fulfilled or to feel understood in your communication and in your relating to one another. So yeah, I think that this is trying to reassure you, but I think you lack reassurance at this time. And that Mercury in the 12th can indicate feeling like there's a lot of like unknown factors or a lot of unconscious patterns playing out, things that are not visible to the eye, that are influencing your ability to trust people, your ability to believe in relationships, your ability to feel love, receive love. So there's something going on here with that. I think that that's a big part of what's healing. And it's interesting because this is a full moon in the 6th, and I mentioned that the 6th is like a work house. It's also a house that has a lot to deal with our kind of feeling of being worthy. And so with the moon in the 6th, you could feel some anxiety, or like you are always having to prove yourself with this 5 of Pentacles, or always like trying to work for something that doesn't give back. That's a very 6th house topic. This kind of selflessness and not always receiving what you need. And I see that that's something that's going to have some kind of breakthrough for you here with the Temperance and the Page of Swords. I think that you guys are going to have some kind of mindset shift here that is going to help heal you. Maybe an idea. Maybe it's even something entirely different in your life. Like you have an idea for a book or for a song or for a hobby or to do something fun in your relationships, like go on a trip or whatever. And something about that seems very healing for you with this creative spark energy. So it might not be that you go in and you resolve all these issues with each person one-on-one that you've had problems with or whatever, but there's something here where I feel like you're going to have some kind of, again, idea or some kind of interest or something that you take part in that has a potential to be cathartic for you in some type of way with this creative spark, to light you up again and to be very healing in your heart, so that this feeling of being maybe misunderstood or this feeling of maybe being disconnected doesn't have its weight or it's like nails digging into you, because instead your heart is more focused on something inspiring, and that can be, again, very healing for you. So it's almost like positive distraction. You guys could be a little bit more anxious with Mercury squaring Pluto. You could be overthinking things about your future at this time. And I almost feel like part of the divine wants you to come back to your spiritual practice, to a creative practice, to something meditative or something out in nature with Mercury and Taurus. I don't know, there's something here where it's like, let's unplug for a little bit with these cards. Let's get away. Let's do something for ourselves. Let's do something alone to, again, kind of reconnect with what will make us feel fulfilled. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Gemini. I hope that this is helpful. I think it's a lot about kind of coming back into your sense of self and supporting yourself, and not having the beliefs and the thoughts and the ideologies that you're not that are hurting you, basically. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I hope that's helpful for you. If so, please comment down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Cancer, Rising, and Sun. So for you guys, this Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your 5th house. This is a little bit of a volatile full moon because it's opposite the sun in the sun in Taurus conjunct Uranus. And I think that that's something that we can really see with the 5 of Wands and Page of Wands and the Alliance card. I did see this for Taurus as well, that there's this kind of combative energy that's happening where people are kind of hell-bent on misunderstanding one another. I think that this can happen a lot when we involve Uranus and in these social houses, like the 5th and the 11th house. So there's quite a bit of energy where people are going to be acting unpredictably, where people are going to be honest, where they're going to say exactly what they think and kind of not hold back, especially because Mercury at this time is also in the 11th house, squaring Pluto in the 8th. I definitely think people are going to be revealing secrets or just bearing their heart in some kind of intense or emotional way. I think people could have fights where people's fears or kind of triggers come out. I definitely see with the Five of Wands is that there's just this energy of disagreement here from an emotional perspective that I think can put stress on relationships for a little bit. With the Page of Wands, though, I almost feel like the stress is going to be around personal freedom, around who has the upper hand, who has a say here, who is the powerful one in this situation, and everyone's going to kind of fight with that Pluto in the 8th squaring Mercury 11th. Everyone's going to kind of fight for their say or their equality here. So whatever this is, it's like some kind of tension here with you and another, or you and an organization even, or a company, or something, you and some kind of entity or person that is kind of going at it a little bit to see like who comes out on top. People really want their freedom when we have a full moon opposite Uranus. People want to have say over their lives. They want to have independence. They want to be trusted to influence the direction of their lives and maybe even other people's lives with Mercury square Pluto. And so that could be definitely a thing here for some of you guys. So we also have 10 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and the Earth card. To me, this really speaks to the fact that the ruler of this full moon is Mars in your second house of money. So to me, this is some kind of financial opportunity for you guys. I can see you guys wanting to have some kind of change, maybe in the material world. Maybe you want to change up your home environment. Maybe you want to sell something or make money in a different way or learn a new skill. But I can see something here around the potential for sudden money to come to you or changes in your luck somehow. Maybe you have your own business and you start getting a lot more clients, or maybe you get a little bit of a raise at a random time of the year, or have some kind of tax return. Just something like that where you have some kind of way to have a positive shakeup in the material realm. It doesn't even just have to be money. It could just be anything that you own, that you possess, that you value. Some kind of change with something that you value that is positive, that is uplifting. I can also see with the Six of Pentacles in reverse and Four of Wands, I feel like you guys are going through some kind of like maturation or some kind of reward for practice. With the Six of Pentacles and then in reverse, this to me says that maybe there was some kind of relationship that you guys were in that maybe lacked boundaries, or maybe that you have been involved in relationships that have not had really good, give and take, or like that didn't fill you back up, or maybe you weren't getting paid your fair share. Some kind of like inequality here with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. With this Four of Wands upright, I feel like you are resolving some kind of situation like that. Maybe you're speaking your mind. Maybe there's something that you have to kind of take a stand for. And this is as a result of like you having practiced this before, where maybe you keep setting boundaries and it gets better, and then you get to a place of greater equality and harmony. Or maybe it's something where you are really skilled and you've developed your skill and now you can finally charge what you're worth. There's something like that where it's like, oh, I can get more now because I put in the time and effort to get better at this thing, or to relationally change something here, or to develop some kind of skill. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you, my Cancer. It feels like there's some kind of positive growth here in terms of my money. I think a full moon in the fifth house can represent some kind of auspiciousness when it comes to material gain, especially with the ruler of this moon being in the second, Mars in the second. So I definitely feel like that's coming in. I also think relationally with Uranus in the 11th opposing this moon in the 5th, I think that can also bring some kind of push and pull dynamics that's a little bit erratic here, trying to gain power or footing. But I feel like this comes if this is talking about the same situation, this is going to resolve itself into something that feels a little bit more fair because you are deserving of that. So that's what I'm seeing for Cancer. If that resonates, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, I'm next to have Leo rising and sun. So for you guys, this Taurus, Scorpio, I keep saying that. The Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your 4th house. And I keep saying Taurus because the sun is opposite the moon in Taurus. So moon in Scorpio, opposite sun in Taurus. And the sun is also conjunct Uranus, which is a planet of unpredictability and change. And so I definitely think that we're going to have quite a bit of movable energy and the potential for a lot of things to start shifting. For you guys, the shift is likely going to come in the area of your career because that's where Uranus is. And I can see that with this 4 of Cups in reverse, 3 of Pentacles upright, and Wise leadership card. I don't know. I feel like you guys in the past maybe didn't want to step up into some kind of role. I don't know if I talked about this with Saturn and Aries, but I would definitely check out that video because this is giving me deja vu to that reading. So there might be something there for you. But this to me is saying that in the past, you guys may have kind of not wanted to take the lead with something. Maybe you didn't want to work with somebody, join this kind of job, or take this kind of position, or up level in some way, or take on more responsibility. But now I feel like this change is happening with Uranus here that is going to kind of have you acting a little bit more independently, in the sense that you are potentially being a leader or having a different kind of relationship with the authority or leaders in your life. So there's something here where I think you guys are going to start working better with people. So in that sense, it's not as independent, but I think that you're kind of getting out of a zone of playing it safe or doing the things like you've always done or in the way that you've always done them at work. And I see you taking your life into your own hands more, directing things more, joining different activities or groups or career interests or goals. Like I can see you kind of getting more into the thick of your life and trying to, again, direct it more. The ruler of this moon is Mars. Mars is currently in your sign in your 1st house. So this is really your time to shine. The 1st house is the house of self, and it's also, especially paired with the sun and 10th, very much an area of leadership, taking up power, control, having authority. So I see you guys needing to take up space, have some kind of visibility, work with other people, kind of like if you've been in the house, if you've been rejecting social plans, or if you've been not going after certain opportunities or promoting your creative inventions or whatever, that has to end now. With this full moon in Scorpio, I can see you guys finally like getting yourself out there, promoting yourself more, asking for that raise, trying to like level yourselves up or take up more space and visibility. Definitely visibility. Even though the moon is in the 4th, I definitely think it's visibility because of where Mars is. So we also have the World, the 3 of Wands, and the Mastery card. So this to me represents having some kind of like achievement unlocked. The World and the 3 of Wands to me is like when you're playing a video game and you already surpass a level and then you can go on to the next level and maybe it's like a new map. That's what I see here. Like, okay, now that I've accomplished this, now that I've completed this cycle in my life or have reached some kind of financial accomplishment or career accomplishment, now I can go on to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe for some of you, it's now I can go on and travel, or maybe I can go on and now I can start a family because I've achieved X, Y, and Z, or I can buy that house now because I've done X, Y, and Z. But there's something here where it's like I've ended some kind of cycle, even if it's just an emotional or internal one. And now I have opportunities. Now I have different options of places I can go. Now I can go into a new area and like start to explore something different. So it's because of certain mastery, because of time and energy that you put into something previously, that you are now unlocking a new layer to your existence and going to explore something entirely new or special to you. So the 3 of Wands to me feels like somebody, you can see here, they've got like 3 different paths that they can go down. They've got their bags packed because they've accomplished this feat. Now they've had the chance to prep, to pack their bags, to get everything ready. And now they can kind of choose where they go next. So I see that like in the video game of life, you're kind of upgrading to a new map and exploring those new horizons. Okay, so I also think with this, okay, so this one is not as positive. I hate to kind of end on this note. I think this has to deal with the fact that Mercury in the 11th house is squaring Pluto in the 7th. This is two relational houses and two planets when combined in a tense aspect that represent conflict with others, disagreeing with others, stress because of certain relationship issues, not seeing eye to eye. I can see that with the Alliance card, Ace of Cups in reverse, and Three of Swords upright. I just feel like people are going to let you down in some kind of way, to be honest. I just see some kind of emotional disappointment, not being on the same page, maybe not feeling fulfilled with someone or something. And it's almost like it might be time to question your alliance to certain people in your life. It might be time to look at your relationships through new eyes. Even if you don't do a complete overhaul of a relationship or multiple relationships, at the very least, look at people who cause you pain and further question yourself with that. Am I fighting for something that is not helpful for me or toxic to me? Or do I need to change the way that I approach my relationships to make them healthy? Or the kinds of people I'm in relationship with. So this to me feels like a very Scorpio-esque experience, which is where the full moon is in the 4th, where you're kind of looking deep into your emotions, deep into your past, deep into your patterns, and how you connect with people on that more basic kind of reptilian wavelength, where we can get defensive, or we could have our wounds come up and not even be conscious of them. That's the kind of thing I think you need to dig a little bit deeper into, Leo, because I see some painful dynamics here that need to be addressed, and you need to have self-awareness around it, as well as kind of, just questioning, like, are these the right people in my life? I think that's important. So that's what I see for you, Leo. If that resonates for you, I would love to hear from you down below. Please don't forget to also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, next we have Virgo rising and sun. For you guys, this Scorpio full moon on May 12th is happening in your 3rd house. And it's a little bit of a volatile one because it's opposite the sun in Taurus, but also Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is an unpredictable planet. It's the Great Awakener. It's the planet that rules over oftentimes earthquakes or electricity, things that have an irregular pattern, things that are, they bring a little bit of upheaval. And so I think that this is very relevant for you guys because with this full moon in your 3rd, I think that you guys are needing to have some type of upheaval of your truth, some kind of revelation, some kind of honest communication, coming out with something. And it's like this radical honesty. It's like, okay, I'm willing to disrupt the status quo. I'm willing to be uncomfortable or make the situation weird by being open, by being honest, by revealing something, or potentially something could be revealed to you. So that's also very possible. So I can see that with the 7 of Swords in reverse and the Secrets in reverse too. I think that this is that revelation, that some kind of truth needs to come to the surface. Maybe you need to have a difficult conversation. Maybe you need to be honest with yourself about something as well. This doesn't have to be about something that involves someone else necessarily, but whatever this is, it's like, let's be honest with ourselves or with others. And with the 10 of Wands in reverse and Queen of Wands upright, I think that it's going to help you release some of the baggage. I almost feel like this has been weighing on your heart because maybe you haven't wanted to address it with yourself or with another person. And just by finally ripping the Band-Aid off and looking at things plainly or speaking them plainly, I feel like it's going to give you a lot of relief. I also think it's going to open up a lot of doors for you with the Queen of Wands. Like, it's going to enter you into a new era. Instead of being weighed down by the stress of something, I can see you finally having the energy to do more, to accomplish more, to be more confident when you go out into the world and kind of claim something for yourself with the Queen of Wands. So this whole process is going to be enlightening for you, like literally lightening your load. And I can see that with the ruler of this moon, Mars, being in your 12th house. The 12th house is very much a secretive house. It's a hidden house. It's a house of often illusions and lies. And so having Mars here and Uranus opposite this moon does indicate that things that have been buried, things that have been unacknowledged, things that have been hidden from our view or from the view of others on our behalf is going to come to light in some kind of way, and it's going to lighten the load and release us from some kind of unnecessary internal strife. The next set of cards, we have Three of Pentacles upright, Three of Swords upright, and the Generosity card. Interesting that these are 2 3s. There could be something that involves 3 people. There could be something that involves like 3 days or 3 weeks, something like that. So there might be something relevant with the number 3, basically. So I don't know. I feel like this could be potentially talking about Mercury, which is your planetary ruler, in your 9th house, squaring Pluto in the 6th house. There could be something that you kind of want to like work together with something on, like maybe you want to go and live with somebody, or maybe you want to literally work with someone on a project, or maybe there's some kind of relationship that you are in and there's another party that's influencing your dynamic. There's something about like 3 people trying to do something together, or you needing to make it work with somebody. But with the 3 of Swords, it represents that this is causing a bit of pain for you or strife. So it's like this could be like you're in a relationship but you like somebody else too, or that person cheated on you, or you're in a work situation and you know it's your boss and then 2 coworkers, and maybe the boss kind of favors one person. Just examples. Or maybe you live with somebody and there's tension between 2 people because of one other person. So there's something like that going on where it's causing a little bit of emotional pain here. With the Generosity card, I feel like this is kind of saying like you give what you get. If you are stingy, you get met with, you know, stingy. If you are generous, you get met with generosity. So this is kind of saying like this dynamic might be uncomfortable for you, but if you have to engage in it, what are you giving in this scenario? Like, how are you participating in this? So there's something relationship wise here. And again, this could have to do with Mercury squaring Pluto, where people could have a lot of opinions of their own and kind of be like temper and you know, there's just quite a bit of tension that can happen as a result of Mercury square Pluto, where people really hold to their beliefs and their ways of doing things or seeing things. And it can, again, if there's not leeway, if you're not giving some, then the other person isn't going to give you some. So yeah, there's something about that here. The last set of cards we have is 4 of Wands upright, Ace of Cups reverse, Time, and Home in reverse. The first thing that came up for me was like bittersweet, like something being bittersweet. We also have 2 cards related to the home card, and then also 4 of Wands is a lot about like coming home or having a happy home. So there might be something here with like your house that is bittersweet, or something that is like you have some kind of nostalgia for the past, but I don't know, this is a kind of, I feel like there's a lot of layers to this message. So I'm just going to list off a bunch of them. So you could have like nostalgia for the past, but actually the past wasn't as great as you thought it was. You could, yeah, it's almost like you think that something is going to be really, it's almost like, I don't know. It's, again, it's such a mix of energy, because we have the 4 of Wands and the Time card. And to me, these are 2 uprights. So it's really speaking about maybe something of the past, or something that used to be really peaceful. And then with the Home in reverse and Ace of Cups in reverse, now it's like somehow disrupted and not fulfilling for you. So maybe your current living situation isn't as fulfilling, or maybe you think like fondly about the past and it actually like ended up not working out for some reason, and you are kind of like wishing for that. Yeah, just like, I just get bittersweet. I think that's probably the best way to describe this. Is like a little bit of like good and bad here. And I don't know. I don't really know what the message is here, to be honest, because it feels really complicated. Maybe because everybody has such a nuanced like perspective or situation going on that it's hard to fit one. But let me just see if there's any advice, because that might help instead. So we have Ace of Wands reversed. Yeah, so I feel like the grass isn't always greener on the other side, or, you know, you don't always have to, like, some idea that you hoped would work out actually ended up like disappointing you. I don't know how that's advice necessarily, but there might be something along that with it kind of saying that if you feel disappointed, like you sought out to do something and it like was just a little or like I thought this day was going to be the most amazing day of my life, like this wedding, and then something happened and it was like just like I don't know, something like that going on here, where again it's like you thought it was going to be good and it wasn't, or it was a mix of both and it's bittersweet, or where you're at now isn't where you used to be and so you're like nostalgic or something like that. And with the Ace of Wands in reverse, I don't know. Why am I like so confused? Yeah, the Ace of Wands in reverse can represent feeling blocked, feeling stuck, feeling uninspired by something. So maybe this just represents that you are potentially in a place where you feel a little bit like stuck, or you have felt stuck or blocked. That can also happen with Mercury square Pluto, where we start to spin our wheels and like overthink things because you want to have a plan, but it ends up like maybe something doesn't go right on the plan, or maybe you're just not sure about the plan and you're like not as excited about it anymore, something like that. And so I don't know, it feels like just overthinking, which again, this is a full moon in the third house, so it could represent the mind kind of getting the better of us and maybe feeling a little bit scattered in some kind of way, like, oh, there's a lot of options, but I don't really know where I'm going or what I'm doing. I don't know. Again, this is like all over the place. Okay, let me just pull like a couple advice cards here, Spirit. Just advice for the situation. Okay, we have Strength in reverse, Seven of Cups. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. There's some kind of confusion here. So Strength in reverse to me is like, don't hold on to whatever this is. Like, don't just sit here and like try to have courage and like wait it out. And yeah, I really feel like it's saying that there's something disappointing here and or bittersweet here or whatever. And I feel like the Strength card just says, I feel like having resilience and trying to be courageous and just stay there and be strong. Like, no, this is saying don't do that. Go back to the drawing board with the Seven of Cups and the Moon. It's okay to not have the answers. If this is not the answer here, don't stay where you are. Keep trying to move forward on something in some way, even if where you're at doesn't land right away. There's something else that's going to come through. I don't think it's at this full moon. Definitely not. Or it could be. This could represent the past. But I kind of get the feeling that it's not, because the ruler of this moon is in the 12th, and that's usually the house where things are hidden. I did see something was going to be revealed here. So potentially this could describe that, and you could have truth come. But I feel like many of you guys are going to be more in the Seven of Cups moon card, where you're like, okay, I don't really know what the next steps are. Maybe I have an idea or lots of ideas, but there's still a lot of a lack of clarity here. So you have maybe too many options and you're trying to figure out what's next. So I think that your advice is to stay and be okay in the unknown in this phase of transition, but don't try to hold on to where you are at, because where you are at is going to make you miserable if you stay there. So that's what this bittersweet energy is. Like, you can't hold on to the past. You can't go back to that time. You can't make things fit in the now. Like, there's something about your home life or where you're at or where your comfort zone is that you might want to make work, but it's like, it's too late now. It doesn't work. It's not fulfilling you anymore. And now, like, time has passed and you're changed, and that person's changed, or that house has changed, that environment's changed, and it's not something that you can force anymore. And it's like blocked here with this Ace of Wands, like you're stuck there wherever you currently are. And so even though you don't know where you're going next, you have to take a step forward into that space anyway and not try to like grin and bear it, because I think that there's nothing left for you here in this space. So this feels now very clear to me. I can see why it was so confusing, because there's, I think, a lot of things that can fit into that, like an outdated place of living, an outdated job, an outdated relationship, an outdated state of mind or habit that's like you're getting nothing out of it. It's like if you toil the land, or if you plant so much in the land and you just keep planting and planting and planting, you strip the land of its nutrients. You have to go somewhere else. Like you literally cannot grow something productive out of that same space, because it has been used up in all of its essence that it was serving for you. So that now makes sense. I hope it does too for you guys. I hope it's helpful. And yeah, if this resonates, let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys so much. Good luck with this. I'm also Virgo rising, so good luck to me too. Please comment down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Libra rising and sun. This Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your second house. It's opposite the sun and Uranus in your 8th, which does provide a little bit of volatility, because Uranus is a planet of change, of things kind of getting ripped out from under us sometimes, or unexpected occurrences or breakthroughs or truths that are unearthed. With this full moon being in the second house, this is something that is likely going to point to some type of change in your material world, because the second house and the 8th house, where the sun is, has to do with our money, our property, our partner's money, our partner's property, our taxes, our tax returns, our way, our job, our ways of making money, things like that. So you guys might have some kind of change in that environment. With the 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Swords and the communication card, some of you guys might be in a place here where you are being asked to try to raise your prices, to get more of a raise, or to communicate about trying to get like equality in pay or sharing more resources with your partner. There's something here with the Libra where I feel like you guys, if you speak your mind, with the, is it the Libra? I don't know what I was saying with that. With this communication card, if you guys speak your mind, you guys can get out of a phase with the 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Swords of maybe chronically under earning, or maybe you just feel like you have been a little bit tighter in the purse strings. Maybe you've been working less. Maybe you have been out sick, or maybe something has been happening where you just haven't had as much money, or money has been a little bit unstable. And so this is saying that there can be a change in your material world here. Again, it's going to require that you communicate what you need, especially with Mercury squaring Pluto at this time. Mercury in the 8th squaring Pluto in the 5th. You guys are going to have to kind of push your worthiness or your cause, or kind of illustrate why you are good at what you do, why you are deserving, or maybe you have to build up your confidence to do this. There's something here where it's like, no, there's more out there. There doesn't have to be scarcity, or I'm worthy of more. There's something like this where you can see an increase and an end to a cycle of maybe not having enough of something in your life by just speaking up. And this could even be relationally too, where maybe you feel like you didn't have enough support, or maybe you feel like you've been on your own too much, or struggling with something, and you want you want to reach out for help of some sort. Like even if it's like physically, okay, I'm going to go get a massage every week. That's reaching out for some type of help or relief. But I think for a lot of you, it's going to be more physical in the monetary sense. The ruler of this moon is Mars, and it's in your 11th house. So I think that also speaks to this level of needing to find some kind of community. With this full moon being the second house, you guys could be hyper independent. Maybe you've done a lot on your own, and now it's time to look at, not that you can't be alone, because this full moon opposite Uranus is a lot about independence. Uranus is a very solo kind of planet, but with the ruler of this moon being in the 11th, I think that you might want a little bit of community or support or understanding, and kind of reach out to people more. Like, hey, I've been going through a hard time about this and I didn't say anything, or I've been really kind of not having money. Like, will you help me? That kind of thing. So I think it's worth considering. We also have the Magician in reverse and the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Divine Wisdom. The first thing that came out when I pulled this card was you know better. And I don't know what that means, but there might be something in which you know better that you're not really listening to yourself with. The Magician in reverse, when it's upright, this is somebody who's really resourceful and they understand that they have what they need to make something happen. They understand that they are capable and that they are ready at where they're at in life. It's in reverse though. So there might be something where you feel like I'm not ready for this. Maybe you are kind of overthinking something, you know, especially with Mercury in the 8th square Pluto. There could be a worry or some kind of fear, like, can I handle all of these things? Two of Pentacles in reverse, maybe you feel like you have a lot of priorities or a lot of things that are important to you and you are worried about taking something else on or having some kind of lifestyle change or change in your life in general that puts additional stress on you or additional responsibility on you. And so those Two Pentacles in reverse can be like, do I have what it takes? Do I have the resources mentally, physically, emotionally, monetarily, relationally to be able to change up my priorities in this way or add this new thing on if it's something that you're adding? And the Divine Wisdom card, I feel like, is saying, yes, you can, but you know how to do this. And also, maybe it's saying you know better in the sense that you, I don't know, I feel like maybe this is something that you've done before. When I say that, it's like maybe you've had a change in your life or an up level in your life before where you took on more responsibility and you handled it just fine. Or if you haven't done this exact thing before, you know how to like get the resources. You know how you have certain tools in your life to lean on, and saying you know better than you think that you do. Like you're kind of underplaying or downplaying almost your capabilities, but you might need, with Mars in 11th, to reach out or to get more support or to delegate or to ask for help. Usually a full moon in the second, I wouldn't say that, especially opposite Uranus, but that's just something coming through pretty strongly here. So maybe you're examining like where you feel like you have to do it all on your own, and you're communicating more for that assistance in some kind of way. Then we have the Two of Wands in reverse and the Seven of Swords in reverse. So the Two of Wands in reverse is somebody who may feel like they are kind of indecisive about something, or there's some kind of change in their life that they're uncertain about and they're doubting or they're scared about it. I kind of see that here with this Two of Pentacles in reverse. Like something is going to shift in your priorities or something, and it's like maybe you feel that you don't have a plan, or that you're not ready for something. That's kind of the vibe here of like, I'm doubting myself, I'm kind of delaying something, or even if it's not delaying, I'm overthinking something with that Mercury square Pluto. The Seven of Swords is really somebody who is kind of, sometimes they can be lying to themselves. But with this in reverse, I feel like you guys are just needing to realize that you don't need to run away from this thing. You don't need to fear this thing. You can be honest. So if there's something that you're like, I'm not ready for that, I'm scared about that, I don't have a plan for that, instead of just running away from it or pushing it off or acting like it doesn't exist, or whatever that could look like, I feel like this is you guys needing to, I think this is almost like seeing your own power, your own potential, how strong you are, how capable you are with this moon in the second house, with this potential card, like seeing that you have the potential for this to be something great, something successful, for you to accomplish something, for you to handle something. Yeah, it's like, don't undermine your own success. Don't undermine your own capabilities here because of your own overthinking and your fear. So that's what I feel like the full moon in the second is about for you guys. It's about kind of building up your self-belief, reaching out to people when you need it, and not feeling like you have to do all this alone. You're totally capable, you're resourceful, but you just have to maybe remind yourself of that. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my beautiful Libras. If that resonates, I'd love to hear from you down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, I'm next to Scorpio rising and sun. For you guys, this full moon is in your sign in Scorpio, May 12th. So this is going to be in your first house, and the sun and Uranus are opposite this moon in the 7th house. So I kind of want to start off with the end cards here. We have the King of Wands in reverse, the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and the Community card. So with a full moon in this first 7th house axis, people can be a little bit more volatile. Relationships and issues with friends, with loved ones, with family, they can reach some kind of crescendo or some kind of chaos. So with the King of Wands in reverse, this can indicate that someone is being a little bit rude, that somebody is not like listening to one another, especially with Mercury in the 7th squaring Pluto in the 4th. This can definitely indicate very kind of personal or emotional fights, or fights within the home, or people having differences of opinions, things getting heated, and people not really respecting the other person as much. And with the Two of Pentacles, this can also indicate that there is some type of energy where things are not balanced, where this person is overriding you. This person is trying to talk over you. They're not listening to you. So with this Community card, it talks about listening to the signs. This means looking at the red flags, looking at the signs around you, and taking things at face value. If you're noticing that somebody is not listening to you, or if you're getting a bad energy from someone, or if you feel like the relationship is unbalanced or imbalanced or unfair or somehow unhealthy, this Community card is saying to examine the signs of this, examine how you feel. And a Scorpio full moon can heighten those emotions, can draw those things out of you in order to help you realize that like it's not that something isn't working anymore. Scorpio is about making the necessary change or confronting something head on, releasing something. And so if there's some dynamic going on here, you guys may need to have some type of adjustment or address something with someone in order to make things fair. The ruler of this moon is Mars. Mars is currently in your 10th house of career and life goals. So you guys might also have something going on in that area. So I can see with the Strength card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Empress, there's something going on here within your career that you are meant to be nurturing with this Nurture card. And I feel like with the Empress and the Strength in reverse, this is something that's meant to feel easy. So there might be some kind of like shift now in your life where you're realizing, hey, my life goals, my path in life, the things that I want, the things that I'm moving towards, even the people I surround myself with, like whatever this resistance is, it's meant to be easy. I'm meant to enjoy who I spend my time with. I'm meant to enjoy who I work with, who I collaborate with. I'm meant to nurture my career or my goals in a way that is fulfilling to me, that gives back to me. And so I feel like there's some kind of shift here that's meaning to happen, where you step into more of an attractive mindset, where you're attracting the things that you love and you're pouring into the things that you love. And it's not, maybe it shouldn't feel as much like a sacrifice, or it shouldn't feel as hard as something, maybe normally is. So there's something here of like, I can attract more wealth, or I can attract better clients, or better dynamic in my work, or, things can feel easy within my goals in life. They don't have to be suffering, right? So that's something here for you guys of like coming into an environment where you are maybe more confident, or you are more at ease within your environment. You don't have to like force things or grit your way through things. Okay. So another message for you guys, and this probably has to deal with this here and Mercury in the 7th squaring Pluto in the 4th, where you need to have really direct conversations. With the Queen of Swords, this is like being honest about your needs, being honest about your boundaries, communicating very clearly, very bluntly with people. And you might notice that this actually, and this could happen again within the home, this could be family members, this could be people that you live with, this could be something related to your home or like your feelings, I guess. So whatever this is, it's some kind of tension here, because the Five of Wands represents people combating you. So you might speak your needs, speak your boundaries, speak your truth, and then somebody kind of attacks you for it. So there's some need to confront people here. And I can really see that as like, listen to the signs, like speak your feelings. And if people are not listening to you, if they're not respecting your boundaries, there might be a need here to like listen to the signs, listen to the red flags. Like don't just ignore your feelings about something or your intuition about something. If somebody is disrespecting you, disrespecting your boundaries, they're not listening to you, they're not being honest with you back, or whatever that looks like, then what do you feel in the signs and in your heart you need to do as a result of that? That's the question here. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I feel like you guys are, again, there's a little bit tumultuous energy in relationships, but I do think that the career area is where things are going to have some kind of breakthrough. Things are going to progress really nicely. Maybe in your life goals and your objectives, like something is happening very easily. And it's like, oh, I don't have to force that anymore. And then it's really going to contrast with whatever is going on relationally of like, oh, maybe that is too difficult and I don't have to deal with that. I'm in a phase of things being nice. So that's what I see for you, Scorpio. If that resonates, I'd love to hear from you down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Sagittarius rising and sun. So for you guys, this Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your 12th house. And it's opposite Uranus and the sun. So this full moon does bring a little bit of volatile energy because Uranus is a volatile or changeable planet. So we can expect that things are kind of unearthed at this time with a full moon in the 12th, because the 12th house is very hidden. Things that are hidden from view, things that are unconscious can be made clear, can be made known. You might have questions that come up for you right now, you know, about your path, and this full moon could have some type of revelation around that, or at the very least some energy around it where you have to discuss it, where the ideas become more widespread, that type of thing. So definitely think a lot of this has to do with like your future, because the ruler of this moon is Mars, which is in the 9th house of the future. So I feel like there's some kind of like plan in motion, or some kind of vision of your future, or something that you're thinking about later down the line. There's a few things coming up here. It could also indicate travel or the lack thereof. So let's talk about this. So we have Queen of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, and 3 of Wands in reverse with new beginnings. So these cards to me represent somebody who's choosing stability over this more like free-flowing kind of lifestyle. So maybe you're looking at the future, or even where you're currently at, where you're going to have to choose to go back to work after being a stay-at-home mom. Or maybe you're choosing to take on more clients after having like a lot of time off and a lot of free time in your schedule. Or maybe you're choosing to stay in one place after going through a period of travel. Or maybe you're choosing to settle down and have kids after being able to just focus on yourself and whatever you want to do. So these are just examples of somebody who is choosing stability and finances and practical matters of the material world that creates security and confidence in your material security over the freedom of choice and adventure. And I feel like this is a new beginning for you guys. So maybe you've been in one energy for like a little while. Maybe you're just shifting modes and ways of thinking. And this full moon in the 12th could indicate the need to it could indicate the transition, basically, especially with Mars in the 9th, where you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about what's ahead, and maybe you're not at this transition yet, but that's something that you are kind of considering. Like, hey, if I want to save up and buy a house, then I'm going to have to make this X, Y, and Z sacrifice to my lifestyle and no longer go on trips or no longer do this. Or, you know, hey, I'm going to plan to go back to work, and what's that going to look like in the future? That type of thing. I feel like you guys are at some kind of like crossroads, or you're going to be at that place soon, or you're thinking about this new beginning that's going to happen, but maybe you're not quite there yet, especially with this 8 of Cups. Maybe you're in that, again, phase of kind of transition where you're kind of a little bit between both worlds, or you haven't actually gone into this Queen of Pentacles yet. So yeah, I think this is just kind of speaking to that, like being at that phase of your life right now where it is wise to choose the material or practical security for your life. So we also have the Queen of Cups and the 7 of Wands in reverse, and then the potential card. So the Queen of Cups is somebody who really has a strong intuition. They are somebody who like see something almost when it's already done, you know, in their mind. Like they can see the end goal of something. And that's kind of what I was getting with this Mars in the ninth. You guys are able to see some type of, again, end goal with like an objective that you have, or yeah, I feel like you're holding on to the essence of something. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, though, there might be times where you lack courage, where you start to doubt yourself. Like this vision, this end goal might feel like it wavers, like a mirage. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Or you feel it, but you don't always see it in the material world. And that's why I keep seeing this practical, like moving towards what's practical or material or financial rather than adventure. I think that's coming later, because I think that you haven't made that sacrifice quite yet. And yeah, I don't know. It's almost like I can just see you guys at sometimes, you know, questioning this. So I don't know. I think that there's something that you want, or something that you feel strongly about, or some idea or intuition that you have about your future, because, you know, full moon in the ninth full moon in the 12th, and then the ruler in the ninth is very mystical. It's very dreamlike. You might literally have dreams about this, or just like a gut instinct or an intuition or feeling. It's so like non-physical, and that's why I think you're not there yet in the physical. But I think that you are going to make some kind of sacrifice to get there in the physical. But I think that because you have this like mirage like instinct about something, that it's not always so concrete for you, and you doubt it sometimes. With this potential card, it's trying to tell you to believe in the potential of this thing. You know, Mars in the ninth is all about conviction. It's about your inner knowing about something, even when the evidence isn't quite there yet to match it. And this is trying to confirm to you that you do know something. You do have the truth of something. Full moon opposite Uranus. Your instincts are right about something. So do your best not to waver, or at least to not give up on the things that you believe in or things that you want. We also have Mercury in the 6th house squaring Pluto in your 3rd house. This could indicate some kind of tense conversations here, especially with colleagues, or there could be stressful planning, like the logistics of something could be really stressful. Maybe there's a lot of moving pieces for something, or maybe you have a lot going on at work and it's causing, again, some kind of stress to get your schedule on board, or to get your routine to keep up a routine. There's something going on here where I can see a little bit of tension going on in terms of anxiety, communication, overthinking, trouble planning, logistics, that kind of thing. And I think that this could potentially play into this. We have the Justice in reverse and Two of Swords upright. The Justice in reverse really represents somebody who is going through some kind of imbalance in their current situation in life, and the Two of Swords can indicate not really, again, this could also indicate a lack of balance, but it can also indicate like not really knowing, like you're sitting at some kind of crossroads, or you need to make a decision with something and you don't really know how to move forward with something. So I don't know, it feels like it can be confusion, uncertainty, somewhat chaotic. So I feel like there's something imbalance in your life right now, that you have a lot of unknowns around, or you need to make a decision with, or it's, again, a little bit like chaotic and you're not able to see with clear eyes the solution to something quite yet, or the way that something is going to plan out or work out strategically, or in terms of time or effort. And so I feel like the advice here with this communication card is to talk about it with somebody. I think that someone else has the answers to your problem. And Mercury could represent the tension in that conversation, though. Like the conversation could potentially not go very well. You could not see eye to eye with somebody, but I think that you could actually ultimately end up with more clarity around the situation, even if it does bring up some kind of issue with somebody else. So if things have felt unfair or unbalanced in a dynamic with someone, or out of balance in a certain situation in your life, or not fair, not feeling equitable, then you might not know how to resolve that, but just talking it out can really be the solution, even if it does kind of drag up more tension in the process. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius. This looks positive overall. I think you just need to reaffirm and believe in the thing that you know is true, in the thing that you want, and the thing that you are intuitively guided towards, because that is here for you in your future reality. So don't forget about that. And I love you guys. Please comment down below if it resonates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, next we have Capricorn rising and sun. The Scorpio full moon on May 12th is happening in your 11th house. And this is a little bit of an erratic one because it is opposite Uranus, which is a volatile planet full of change and unpredictability. So we can expect that you might have some things going on in your life, especially surrounding your future goals, your endeavors, that you have your sights set on, your dreams, or your relationships, your friendships, your community, your connections that will undergo some kind of change, some kind of honest truth or revelation, some kind of shift or ending potentially in these areas of your life. So let's dive into the cards. We have the World card in reverse and the Two of Cups in reverse, and then the Water card, which actually came out in reverse, but I put it upright. So the World card in reverse talks about some kind of stagnation in life. So there might be some kind of shakeup that you need to have either in, again, your friendship community or your kind of wishes about your future as a result of your life kind of reaching a plateau. Maybe you feel like I haven't succeeded at something that I want, or life hasn't been bearing the fruit that I want, or this relationship is stagnating and plateauing and it feels like, you know, this could be better. So I feel like you guys are going to be realizing that something is just not really for you anymore with the Two of Cups in reverse. This is a soulmate energy. So when it's upright, it represents this kind of feeling that you've met your match, that you're in a good relationship, or you are in a good connection with something, or on a good path in your life. When it's in reverse, it can represent that relationships come to an end, that the stagnation or the lack of progress or the lack of fulfillment in this dynamic leads to some kind of completion of a cycle, and then you decide to walk away. Again, this is like not getting fulfillment from something anymore, not feeling like something matches your energy anymore. This could be really anything in your life. Again, it could be something that you saw yourself doing, or some goal that you were working towards, or some kind of desire that you had. And with this Water card, I think it's definitely something that is going to potentially bring up a lot of feelings within you. This doesn't seem like a clean break like this. And I guess what I mean by that is that it's not like this objective thing where you're like, oh, I just like don't care, so I'm just gonna walk away. No, this is something that I think you're gonna feel some type of way about. You have been involved in it, or you've been interested in it or connected to it for a long time, and now it's something that I think you have drifted away from, or has become, again, kind of like stagnant and not really fulfilling you. So even though that is the case, it's still something that has previously been part of your heart, and as a result, I think you're going to feel some type of way about it with this Water card, and saying that that's okay. It's okay to feel some type of way, especially because this is a Scorpio full moon, which is about oftentimes big feelings and having to go through transitions and accept the changes and the losses of life, especially with Mars being the ruler of this full moon, being in your 8th house, which is often the house of endings. The 8th and the 12th can be about endings and having to let something go. And that can bring up really big emotions, because the 8th house is kind of like a water house, if you think about it in modern astrology. We also have the Two of Wands and the Hierophant in reverse and the Nurturer card. So this, to me, the Hierophant in reverse really speaks to the fact that this is a full moon opposite Uranus, because Uranus is a planet of invention and creativity, thinking outside the box. And that's what I thought this was a Hierophant. This is actually the High Priestess. Well, that might be still relevant because I came up with that message to begin with. So you guys might need to think about something outside of the box, or find some kind of creative solution to something. With this being a Two of Wands and the High Priestess in reverse, this to me says that you guys, I almost feel like, these are really different energies. The Two of Wands to me is somebody who makes a plan. They got something set into motion. They are stoked about an idea. And so they start to get all their ducks in a row and get this kind of movement going. Maybe it's not the actual process of doing the thing yet, but it's getting things lined up logistically. The High Priestess in reverse is an intuition card and kind of flying by the seat of your pants. I feel like this is saying that let's diminish the unknowns here. Let's make a plan. Let's take action and not just kind of wait for things to happen to us or wait for clarity to come. We start taking steps in order to gain the clarity. We start taking steps in order to align with what we want in our life. And then things become even clearer as a result of those steps. The nurturer card is saying that like when we put effort into something, when we nurture something, when we take action, I think this is in particular talking about action. When we take action on a particular goal, mission, idea, dream, that is what actually clarifies the vision. That is what makes us feel more connected to that vision as well. So that's what I feel like this is saying, is take practical steps. And I think that Mars being direct in Leo is very much about that, especially in the 8th house. It's saying kind of like be unafraid, because 8th house is a house often of crisis where we have to run straight into a burning house and grab our stuff and run out. We don't think so much, right? We're not like, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? Is the right decision? I don't know. Let me think about it some more. No, it's like, let's just go for it. Again, this isn't quite the best example because I'm not saying to go for it quite yet, but the 2 of Wands is the logistics, the behind the scenes, the planning, the maneuvering, putting things into place, and then you can like pull the trigger. So that's what you're meant to be doing now, the behind the scenes maneuvering of things in order to nurture and grow this idea and clarify what it is that you're wanting. We do have Mercury in the 5th squaring Pluto in the 2nd, so this could represent that taking this dream, this wish, this desire, this thing that you get excited about, that you're passionate about, which is Mercury in the 5th, and squaring it Pluto in the 2nd is like put it into material reality. Put your money where your mouth is. Like do the things in the material reality to make that happen. This could cause a bit of stress to take this dream and bring it into the physical, take this desire and make it into something tangible, because it's a lot more like easygoing and playful and idealistic to have a dream than it is to actually pursue the dream and do the effort behind it. It's not as sexy, it's not as like beautiful, I guess, like the process of actually getting the plan in order is kind of stressful. So that's part of what this is. It's talking about like demystifying that and the journey to get something, like demystifying that and making a plan instead of it being this like idealized, what would that be like to be famous one day? It's like, no, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to do that. And it's, again, not as sexy as like imagining yourself in that place already, but that's part of the process. After that, we have 4 of Swords upright, 10 of Pentacles in the Earth. There is something here that I really love about this of just getting better at receiving. And this could be why Mars is in the 8th house, where we have shared resources, where we are leaning into our like options here, where things can support, other people can support us, or we can have some kind of like, some kind of support from somewhere. So like you go stay at a friend's house for a while, or you get money for your birthday, or you get tax refund. Like there's something about this where it's like not everything has to be so hard when it comes to making money and when it comes to getting what you want. You can just rest and still make money, almost like a passive income stream. So maybe some of you guys are working on passive income. Maybe some of you guys are like wanting to invest in a house or some kind of opportunity that has the potential to pay dividends or pay not just like time and effort. It's like once you put that initial time in, you can keep making money off of it, something like that. So there's something here where I think you guys are needing to go more into, like shift more into rest and prosperity at the same time. So whether that's getting help from people, receiving inheritance, doing passive income, investment opportunities, something like that. But I see you guys creating stability that doesn't require as much blood, sweat, and tears from you, so you can enjoy more of life. And I think that's super important. With the sun in the 5th house, it's a lot about like enjoying the current reality that you're in, having the freedom and the space and the time to enjoy yourself. And you can only do that if you're rested. to a degree. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Capricorn. If this resonates, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, up next we have Aquarius rising and sun. So for you guys, this Scorpio full moon happening on May 12th is taking place in your 10th house of your goals, your career, your endeavors, your future. And it's opposite the sun and Uranus in the 4th. So this can create a little bit of instability, either in the area of your career or your finances. And we can see that because the 4th house is very much about our sense of security, our savings, you know, what planning for a rainy day. And then the moon in the 10th is about, you know, where are we going in our career? So some of you guys with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Pentacles in reverse, and the Humor in reverse, there might be some kind of situation going on where you are uncertain about the financial future of some kind of endeavor that you're in. Maybe you want to sell your house and you don't know how much it's going to be. Maybe their issues are coming up at work and you're not sure about the future of your work. I feel like you guys are just in a place where maybe you have enough because the 4 of Pentacles is in reverse. Or it could signify that maybe you're actually spending like you have enough, but you don't. And so you could be maybe making kind of big purchases and not being as smart with your money. So there's something going on here in regards to like finances, security, your career that might feel like you are uncertain about it, where it's destabilized, where you're spending a little bit sporadically, or maybe some necessary large purchases come up around the home or in terms, you know, for your future that you're wanting, like to travel or to do something. And with the Humor card in reverse, I feel like this is something that, I don't know, maybe you're not taking it as seriously as you could in certain instances. For some of you, it's 2 messages. For some of you, you might be taking it too seriously, where you're actually going to be okay and the financial situation or whatever is coming up right now is just kind of a little blip. And then others of you, when it comes to overspending or spending like a little bit impulsively, it might say that you're a little bit too much like going with your mood, right? And maybe you should plan a little bit more or be more strategic with it. We can see the need to plan with Mercury in the 4th squaring Pluto in your 1st. You guys, I think that there's going to be some changes in your life that are coming up throughout really the next 20 years, because we have Pluto in Aquarius for that long. But even regardless of that, there's something that's going to be changing in your life and your identity and the things that you want to do, maybe in your career, maybe in certain ideas for what you want. And you need to make sure that you're secure for that with this Mercury square Pluto. So this could indicate having a little bit of stress, but needing to come up with some kind of plan or some kind of fallback plan, or having some type of nest egg or something so that you have the option to make the changes that you want. So you might not know now what those changes are, but I could totally see something happening for you guys that shifts your like focus or your intention. And you need to maybe have some type of, you need to be able to adapt. I can see with the 2 of Swords, you might be like later on at some kind of crossroads, or even now, or you don't really know how something is going to pan out or the direction something is going to go in. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, you could be lacking a little bit of confidence around the situation. And the adaptability card says that you got to be light on your feet. You got to be adaptable and willing to adjust with what's happening. So if you, like, maybe you don't, having some kind of backup plan, I think will help a lot. Having some kind of savings or some sense of security through another avenue, through thinking creatively, could help you be able to adapt. Because even if you don't know how something is going to go, and maybe you're not so sure about, you know, the path of something, like maybe you're scared your job will fire you, or maybe you're scared that you won't make much money from this in the future, or whatever. That's okay if you have like another plan or something else that you can think of in the interim, or some other kind of like emergency evacuation kind of vibe. So the adaptability will be easier to be lighter on your feet, to know what to do if something changes, if you kind of think about what would my plan B be? If you wanted to sell your house or buy another house and it doesn't work out, what would be your next plan? So that's the kind of vibe of like, hey, maybe I don't know exactly how this is going to be, but to kind of do my best to secure the unknowns, I'm going to set this in motion. I'm going to save this money. I'm going to do research about this other opportunity. I'm going to make this phone call to see if I have a backup sitter or whatever it is, to like have something lined up in the background. The ruler of this moon is Mars, which is in your 7th house. So while this is destabilizing, you guys can lean more on others. You can lean maybe on your partner, or you can lean on a family member, or you can, I just think that there's something here where with Mars in the 7th where your relationships are going to play a key role in how well you can adapt to something, because you don't have to do it on your own. Another way that Mars in the 7th can be interpreted is that there could be the volatility of this full moon could come out in your relationships or in your contracts. So maybe you thought it was a sure thing, this house contract or this job contract or this dynamic with somebody at work, you thought it was a sure thing, and then it starts becoming unstable and you're like, maybe this work dynamic with this person isn't really working out and I'm stressed or I'm not certain how it's going to be. So how do I adapt to the situation and kind of have my ducks in a row for something else just in case? So it could represent leaning on people. It could also represent people being the unstable piece as well. Lastly, we have the Queen of Swords upright, the Chariot in reverse, and the Home card. This to me says that you guys, the Chariot upright is somebody that is moving really quickly towards something. They are taking action, right? They're using their willpower to get something moving, to get something going. When this card is in reverse, it feels like you are, there's some kind of like delay here or some obstacle, or you guys are intentionally needing to slow yourself down or stop yourself from moving forward. So for some of you, this could feel like a lack of direction. Like I don't actually know with the Two of Swords where I'm going next. This is a full moon in the 10th. So maybe this helps clarify that. With the Queen of Swords, I feel like you guys might have felt a little bit like you're wandering or you're not totally sure about something. But again, you might come up with some kind of plan with the Queen of Swords, or have an important conversation or make an important decision that can clarify what needs to be clarified. Like not everything, but it can clarify like a general direction or a general next step. With the Home card, again, I feel like there's something going on with your home. It could be that you, again, nest egg, it could be literally something with your home, where you're going to live, or like security or your family. There's something going on with that you need to like make a decision about or make a plan about or clarify. And I think you need to kind of pause to do that. And that will help you overcome the blocks that the Chariot puts up. So yeah, I feel like this full moon is about getting clear on a plan B, or getting clear on how to resolve something when the uncertainty or unpredictability arises, or how to have like a safety net, and how to create that sense of security in your home or in your family or whatever that is, even when things are a little bit rocky. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. I hope that resonates. If it does, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, and last but not least, we have Pisces rising and sun. This full moon in Scorpio happening on May 12th is taking place in your 9th house. It is opposite Uranus and the sun in your 3rd house. So I really feel like this is a volatile full moon because of the influence of Uranus. It brings chaos and unpredictability. This change energy, this unstable energy is in the area associated with your future. This is the 9th house. The 9th house is our vision of what's to come, our sense of growth, our sense of expansion, our beliefs and our concepts of our life, like what we think that, what we kind of base decisions off of. This is all shifting for you in some kind of way. And with the future card in reverse, there's something in your life that I feel like you've been really invested in that you're realizing doesn't have a future with you. You're seeing now that the logic is kind of missing, because Uranus is a very logical emotionally detached planet. It's not worried about everyone's feelings. You know, this is a Scorpio full moon, so there is, of course, emotions here. But Uranus can see things plainly, it can see things truthfully and honestly, and it doesn't allow the opinions and the feelings of others to dictate what is true. It's just what's true is what's true, objectively. So I feel like you guys are coming to some kind of truth, which is also a very ninth house topic, within yourself, within clarity of the vision of your future. And you're recognizing that something has kind of, it's something, I think it's something that you're realizing that you want to separate from, that something has kind of expired in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a concept, maybe it's a path that you're on. The Four of Wands, when it's upright, represents this kind of like harmony of something where you feel at home in that energy, but it's in reverse and the future is in reverse. So whatever this is doesn't have that same feeling anymore. Whatever you first got into it for, the reason, the purpose, the why, has shifted because it's no longer keeping its bargain. You know, if you got into a contract with someone or a relationship with someone because they made you feel a certain type of way, and then you stop feeling that way, and they just add chaos to your life, you see how the meaning of that thing has changed. It no longer supports your life in the same way. It no longer has the same purpose. And as a result, you are allowed to choose yourself with the Nine of Pentacles. You are allowed to go off on your own, to be independent, to do something for yourself. That's what a full moon opposite Uranus is about. It's often about choosing what you want and being honest with yourself about what that is, even if that means going your own way or doing something independently. So that is a very strong message for you guys, to own your truth around what you need and prioritize yourself over the harmony of a dynamic or a path that you were once committed to. You don't want to like stick to a responsibility because you said you would. That's important. Okay, second message here. So we have Mercury in the third squaring Pluto in the 12th. The third house where Mercury is has a lot to do with decisions and our mindset and considering lots of options. With it squaring Pluto in the 12th house is often linked to our past. And this really makes sense for the cards that I have here. I got a strong message with this rebirth card and the Nine of Cups in reverse, Seven of Cups in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse. But there's some kind of like idea or decision coming up that is taking an old idea from the past and recycling it. Because I feel like something didn't work, like you've tried this thing before and it didn't work, and now it will, and so now it's coming back up for you to reuse. Or you've tried something and it didn't fulfill you, it's not working out, it's disappointing you, or the wish didn't come true. And so you kind of went back to the drawing board, and now it's time to look at all these options, and in particular, look at old options, old ideas, old things that you maybe didn't fully get off the ground or didn't fully pursue. And now it's your chance to do that. So there's something here about like recycling this old idea. It is possible that it could represent also like old things coming back to the surface, having to consider like old energies or deal with old energies. But I just get a really strong feeling that some of you guys need to consider something that you've already put to rest. And maybe you're already been considering it, and this is just confirmation that, hey, that idea that you had like 2 years ago, it maybe wasn't the time then, but now it's the time to bring that back up. It's a time to get started on that again, to talk to that person again. If this is an old relationship, like, I don't know, it's something here. It's like, don't let that thing, if you have an intuition about it, don't let it just go by. And Mercury squaring Pluto can be a little bit stressful. It can create confusion in conversations as well. In your own mindset, it can cause anxiety, confusion, misunderstanding. So just be aware of that that's also possible and could be what this represents as well. But overall, it's being highly intuitive. And Pluto in the 12th can speak to you in your dreams, in synchronistic messages, in this reading right now, in abstract ways. And it can try to tell you, hey, look over there. Like, consider that thing that you kind of discounted and never gave it a full shot, or you did it and it didn't work and now it's time. So just listen to that carefully. If this doesn't ring any particular bell, then don't worry about it. But if you have something come to mind, then really consider that. Okay, last message that we have is Three of Wands in reverse and Hanged Man upright and Devotion in reverse. So I think that this probably has something to do with the fact that Mars, the ruler of this full moon, is in the 6th house. The 6th house is a largely responsible house, a work-oriented house, a priorities house where we got to kind of get clear on our schedule and what takes priority with our time. So I can see you guys maybe needing to pause some of the things that you are considering right now. The Three of Wands, when it's upright, talks about someone who dives straight into things. They're going on an adventure. They're excited about new horizons and experimenting and doing this and that. And maybe they've got a bunch of things going on. And it's like they're not really discerning always with their plans, with their time, with their energy, with their money, with their schedule. It's like somebody who's kind of just down for that. Like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, that sounds fun. So with this card in reverse, I feel like you guys need to kind of stop that. Pause with the Hangman. Pause and reflect on your life, on what you value with this full moon in the 9th, what you believe, what you prioritize, what you morally think is important, or what the meaning of your life is, what the purpose of investing time into something is, what the intention is. And this Devotion in reverse suggests that you might need to stop investing some energy in certain places or divest energy from certain places to put it into other areas more intentionally. And the only way to do this is to kind of reorient yourself, and you have to kind of pause and reflect and think about your life in this larger context, in this more open mind. If I could truly have anything, if I could be anyone, if I could make anything happen, instead of just diving into what's right in front of me, what would that be? What would that bigger mission or that bigger goal be? And I feel like that is what this full moon is trying to get from you. And Mars in the 6th wants you to slow down and look at your day-to-day life in terms of that larger mission and vision, in terms of your bigger aims, instead of, again, just being busy or productive or trying everything. So yeah, like look at what you're devoted to, look at what you're committed to, and reevaluate through that lens of what is meaningful to me and what am I here for as a soul to accomplish, and does what I do on a day-to-day basis lead me in that direction, or does it take away from it and distract me from it? So lots of messages here for you, my Pisces. It seems kind of nuanced. So I hope that this is helpful. If one of those messages landed for you or helps you, please let me know in the comments down below. That always helps me because I am talking to the tabletop right now. So it is honestly really, really nice to see that somebody's on the other side. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.